Here now.
Hey, welcome back. This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I'm down in my workshop again. It's 6:10 a.m. in the morning. Still kind of hot in my workshop. It's about 85 degrees in here, and humidity is probably 85 or higher. But we're going to see if we can do a little better job of showing you the reception capability of this realistic DX-100. The previous video I did, number one, I was too close to the webcam, and this webcam that the microphone in it really is poor, and it very easily gets overmodulated. So hopefully I'm not as bad this time. Other thing is, I did a video a few minutes ago, and even though I had moved the webcam away from me, the audio when I was speaking was still badly distorted. So I played around with it a little bit, and I noticed that since I had moved the camera from the overhead position, that the mount that I'm using was loose. So I'm thinking, well, maybe the camera is actually vibrating a little bit when I'm speaking so loud. So I bolted everything down tight, did a 10-second video, and it seemed to be better. So I'm going to shoot this again and see if the audio is any better. I definitely will have to look at getting a external microphone like I use in my office for my workshop down here. This is the same camera I use in my office, but when I'm using this camera in my office, I have another webcam, a cheaper webcam, that I've got quite a ways, probably 2 feet, 3 feet away from me, so it doesn't get distorted, where this camera, I'm typically only about a foot away. So we'll see how it goes. Right now, I'm on approximately about 6 megahertz, and I believe this is a lady that broadcasts from down in the Caribbean, so it's probably 1,500, 2,000 miles from me, and it's pretty good. It's not excellent. The S meter is it's at the 0 position right now, so the S meter is 0. And I'm almost 90% on the volume. So let's tune around a little bit this morning. I checked the solar flux index, and it's really low. So I don't have much hope this morning. There's a station there. It's extremely weak. And of course, band conditions will change any minute. So it's trying to come in. There. Cuban station, or Spanish speaking program. No Spanish. I get a lot of Spanish stations, or Spanish speaking stations down in the lower bands from like 5 megahertz to 7 megahertz, and I'm pretty sure they're local, meaning they're either in Florida or Cuba or down the Caribbean. Okay, there's the bottom end of the 40 meter amateur radio band, which is mostly digital and CW. Very strong signals. See if I can pick up some voice. There's one. There was one. I think I'm above that 40-meter band now. Another station. Another Spanish station. Let's go up a little higher and get away from that band, or that area. Go up that 31-meter band. Should be able to get Radio Australia or China radio this time of day. Had something there for a second. I like these old, what I call old school radios, where it's all analog. You got to have a good handle or touch for tuning, especially on this radio. And this is, if I had to say what my biggest interest in shortwave was, it's searching for signals and using analog radios that have a whole bunch of knobs and stuff like that. I use my newer radios, which are all digital and stuff like that. If I want to listen to a particular program, I just punch in the frequency and it's either there or not there. So this is what I like to do best, is search. I mean, it's just amazing what you find on the shortwave band. Okay, there's about, I'd say 9.7 megahertz, which could be China radio or Radio Australia. Pretty weak. The S meter barely moving. And it's in and out. Right now I'm hooked up to the MFJ vertical antenna. Now, someone had the observation, one of my subscribers had the observation on one of my previous videos on this radio, that did I have a ground hooked up to this radio for the antenna? And the answer is, embarrassingly enough, I thought I had, but no, I didn't. And the reason being is, here is the connection. Let me zoom in here. I certainly hope the audio is better on this show. Here is the connection, and this is my cable from that MFJ vertical antenna. It comes to this connector here, which is this typical connector you'll have on bigger radios, and there's just a screw jack for the antenna and ground on the back of this radio. So I've just used a alligator clip lead and connected to the center conductor to the antenna connector on the back of this radio. Well, the antenna itself is grounded back at the antenna. So you should have the shield connected, or the ground connected to your radio. I don't. That's a mistake on my part. So if I take and just use an external ground to give it a ground, let me turn the volume back up, see if it makes a difference. Okay, and get to it. Oh, I can't quite get to it. Okay, on this particular station, it doesn't seem to make a difference. But, unfortunately, the previous video I did, which the audio was terrible, it made a big difference. Not making a big difference this time. So, ideally, I would have that ground hooked up, because by using just the center conductor of this coax cable, I'm not getting the ground. So, unfortunately, this time I can't demonstrate it as well as I did on the previous video that had a lot of audio trash, overmodulation. Wouldn't you know it? Okay, anyway, so the gentleman is correct. I should have the ground hooked up. Okay, the other thing is, I said I would search to see when this radio came out. And in one of my old Radio Shack catalogs, sure enough, 1982 is when this radio was introduced. I believe that's when it first introduced. I searched before this time and I didn't see it. This is the first catalog I saw it in. And here it is, right here. It sold for $99 at the same time, and this was their low-end table model. At the same time, they had the DX-302 and they had the DX-100. So maybe this actually came out a little before 1982, but I think it's around this time, and it sold for $100. Now, I got this particular one because it was advertised as is, because reception on shortwave was not very good. And of course I found a problem with the headphone jack, that when the jack was out, the speaker was not fully connected and the audio output was very low. So stumbled upon that problem, fixed the problem, we now have audio, except right now band conditions are not that great. So, and I got this off of eBay for $25. Nobody else was interested in it because it was marked as is. This is a very popular radio on eBay, and they typically go for about $150, which is more than I'm willing to pay. And they're used. You don't know what the condition is exactly. So I lucked out. I've been looking for this in several other radios on eBay, and got this one because, like I say, people were afraid that it did have a problem that wasn't easily solved. So it's amazing that this sold new for $99 and now they're going used, unknown condition really, for $150. Where this other radio I showed you, find it again. Oh crap, I lost the page. I hate when I do that. There it is. Okay, this other radio here, the DX-302, it sold for $400. And you can get these off of eBay. There are many of these on eBay for about $150. So these are on eBay, they're costing about the same price. So this is kind of, there's a lot of these on here. There's a lot of these on eBay, but there's not as many. There's a number. There's usually typically a dozen on eBay at a given time, where there's probably 2 dozen of these on eBay. Just round numbers and maybe fluctuate higher and lower. So this one seems to be more readily available than this one, so maybe that's why the price is higher. So anyway, that's the radio. It's working fine. The band conditions for shortwave are terrible right now. The gentleman was correct. I should have connected the ground of the antenna. Let me see if I can quickly find another alligator clip lead. This is not the highest quality. It's pretty thin wire. And let's connect the ground of the antenna to the radio. So let's turn this back up. Okay, here we go. Whoa! Did that make a difference? The volume didn't go up so much, but the background static and the signal itself, wow, that really improved things. So now for this particular antenna, I've got the ground of the coax, and the antenna is grounded at the antenna end. I've got that hooked up now, and man, it cleared this station up. It is much stronger. It's much clearer, I should say. Still pretty weak, but much clearer. Let's see if we can tune it a little better. No, it's pretty well tuned. Let's just, for a few more seconds, tune the band. Nope, that was about it. That signal was about it. The band has, whoops, there's some.
En su código penal donde se penaliza el aborto en su totalidad.
Okay, now let's try that one. We got plenty of audio there. Real strong signal. I'm going to, shh, be quiet. I'm going to disconnect the ground. Now, see that noise pickup? I'll reconnect it. Big difference. So, thanks to the gentleman that caught that mistake I made about not having the ground. Another person suggested that I add the proper connector, and I'll show it to you right quick, because I got my connector box. Here's my connectors. Huge box, probably got several hundred connectors. But I need, this is what I need. I need to add one of these connectors that connector on the coax cable plugs into on the back of this radio, and then I will have a proper connection of that particular antenna. So that's a mod I've got to consider. Pretty easy mod. You got to drill a hole in the fiber board backing on this radio, mount this thing, wire that external antenna connection to here, wire the ground, which is the important part, to the radio's ground, and therefore I'll have the proper connection, unlike what I'm doing right now. So anyway, that's the show. I hope I've improved the audio. Don't know for sure, but we'll take a look. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the subscriber for the suggestion on the ground. Bye-bye.